Doorbell rings, he drops a bag outside. When we read the fucking mail, it's a hell of a ride. One from a buddy, two for the show, 3 orange slices and away we go. Listen to mail, listen to mail. Gilbert and Frank's very amazing colossal mailbag. Colossal mailbag. Colossal mailbag.
Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried.
There's a lot of phlegm in that intro.
Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried. And I'm here with Frank
Lord.
Santopodge.
It's really, I'm catching it.
It is cold and flu season.
And this is Gilbert Gottfried. No, fuck me again. This is Gilbert and Frank's Colossal Obsessions. And, you know, if you speak to any current rock musician on who their greatest influence was, it's the old blind black blues singer Paul Raybone.
I wondered where you were going with that.
It's not Blind Lemon Jefferson?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
Paul
we work
Raybone.
Yeah, Paul Raybone. And he's 175 today, but he still was happy to come.
I gotta say, Paul is he's on the mend. He just had, you don't mind my telling the folks, you just had some minor surgery.
That's right.
And you come in here very fashionable, wearing your slip-on shoes.
Well, that's because that's the only shoes I could get over my healing
Oh, is that
knee.
what it is?
That's right.
Okay. I thought you were going to be in much worse shape.
I thought you knew all right from the start that I was a fashionable guy. Where is this coming from?
People are picking up on the Paul
It's a
Raybone,
good
black
thing
jazz musician thing, by the way. I think you got something there, Gil.
You hear him talk, and that Louisiana drawl is really...
We're having biscuits and gravy after the show tonight. So.
Yes.
We haven't done a Twitter episode in a while. We like to let our fans hear their name on the show. We like to communicate with them. This is the modern day equivalent of what would have been a viewer mail episode in the days when people sent letters.
We get letters.
We get letters, like the old Letterman show. But we do it via Twitter.
But first, I have a story about one of our previous podcast guests. Now, Bill Macy. Mm-hmm. Now, before, my last story was that Bill Macy was at the screening, one of the screenings in L.A.
Oh, yeah.
For my documentary, Gilbert. And he started gasping for air, and he had to be rushed out, and we thought, oh, well, that's it. He's gone. And so Darren and I called him the next day, and he said, you know, he was feeling fine. He wasn't in the hospital. And we said, well, can we stop by your house and bring you something? And he said, I'm not at the house. I'm at the casino.
He's indestructible.
And so the latest story is Bill Macy, who's 80.
He's going to be 96.
He's going to be 96. Bill Macy, who's going to be 96.
Right in our demo.
He's one of our younger guests. Was rushed to the hospital with pneumonia. Now we think for sure.
Yeah, when you told me that, I thought,
Yeah, we think, well, we'll just have to send the wife a bouquet. And so we call him. He's home. He was in the hospital for a day. He's home, and all he wanted to talk about was that the nurse touched his dick.
God bless that man.
96-year-old Bill Macy, very excited. He said that they wanted him to pee, so they stood him up, helped him, and they held the bedpan under, And he
This
was,
is also what takes place on every Gilbert Godfrey
yes.
amazing, colossal podcast recording, but that's neither here nor there.
And Bill was going, and I felt funny, and all the people in the room, as I wasn't able to pee. So the nurse takes 2 fingers and puts them around my dick and bends my dick, and I start peeing. And I was amazed, and I said, "How did you do that?" And she said, I'm a fucking nurse. I do this.
I'm a fucking nurse? That was that response?
Yes, I'm a fucking nurse.
Hashtag me too.
There you go. That's funny. Oh, God.
So Bill Macy, nothing will slow him down.
Okay. I just got a future flash forward of... Never mind.
When Gilbert's 96.
I don't want to go there. Like next month.
Yes.
Maybe. Well, and did you call Gino Conforti for his birthday?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah,
he's a
I
delightful
called
guy.
Gino.
He's 86, but he sounds 40 on the phone.
Yeah.
Doesn't he sound vibrant and young?
Loaded with energy.
Full of laughs and energy. My God. I'm so glad we do this show and we get to talk to these people. Gino invited me to L.A., said he'd take me to dinner. So maybe I have to go. Take him up on that. So we have some tweets. Raybone is on his trusty flashback, his
Would
Wayback
you like
Machine.
to play the harmonica?
I'm going to play us out at the end.
Should I start with a tweet insulting Paul, just because it's on theme?
Absolutely.
Okay. This is from
Why do you even have to?
this is from Troy Moore. Troy Moore, and he says, "Ha ha! You credited Vito Scotti with The Godfather when you could have credited him with Gilligan's Island. Was that some Rayburn research?"
Where does this guy live?
All right. This I love. This is from.
Oh, well,
Go ahead.
you can look up where he lives.
This is from Automatic Slim. I love these Twitter names. Fantastic episode with Mark Evanier. Nothing makes me giddier. I said nothing, then Gilbert doing Hervé Villachez, and they sent a cartoon of
Oh, my
of
God.
Hervé Villachez with your face
Wow.
on his body. It's disturbing. I'll send that to you. I'll send that to Dara.
I remember we were getting into that whole talk about
And no guest we ever had knew more about Hervé Villachez than Mark. He worked with him one day.
and Hervé Villachez was a real mean scumbag because he felt he didn't get everything that Tom Selleck got. He thought, aside from the Tom Selleck money, he should be getting the Tom Selleck, I should get all of the pussy that Tom Selleck gets. Tom Selleck gets billions of dollars and plenty of top pussy. I should get the Tom Selleck pussy.
Did you see the Ricardo Montalban interview where he talks about how Hervé wanted everything that he got? Like if he got a bigger trailer.
Oh, no, we got to find that.
Oh, it's great. When I was editing the episode, I was so fascinated. I looked it up. And he wanted everything that everyone else had.
Yeah, apparently. Montalban's trailer and Selleck's perks.
I want Montalban trailer and Tom Selleck's pussy.
That is art. Bike Burr. I don't even know how to say this name. Bike, the word bike, and then BRH.
He
Bike
was a famous action hero.
Bike Burr. Yeah. If you look at the end credits of a lot of Sam Raimi films, we discussed this. You will find people credited as fake Shemps.
Yes.
Yes. This comes up. The whole fake Shemp thing. We had that explained to us in detail by Three Stooges expert Eddie Deason.
And I forget
On a
if
recent show.
I think it's Joe Palmer.
I think it's Joe
who was-
Parma.
Yeah, who is the fake Shemp.
I'm not sure. Gary, a code name Gary7 says, I'm not sure I'm not the only one who's pointed this out, but Mark Evanier is the Zelig, or maybe more appropriately, the Forrest Gump of the entertainment world. He's the lives he's led and the people he's met. That guy has a story about everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't that a fun show?
Oh, it was.
This is from William Lanham. I sent him your autographed Superboy.
Oh.
For those of the fans that didn't know that Gilbert wrote a Superboy comic.
Yeah.
Back in when? In the 90s?
Yeah, a while ago.
autographed
Maybe
it.
even the 80s.
Was it the 80s? We autographed it and sent it to you. Were playing. It was the Knick-Knack.
Knick-Knack.
It was a Knick-Knack. We autographed it and sent it to William Lanham. Let's see what we have here. Dave Mackey says, I loved the Howard Morris story at Hanna-Barbera, where he told Joe Barbera to go fuck himself. And Joe Barbera said, I took your advice. Sam the Sens fan, I assume Senators. Frank, I am ashamed to say I've never seen a Marx Brothers film. Shame on you.
Wow.
If I can only watch one, which one should it be?
Oh, Duck Soup.
I was going to say Night in Casablanca, but yes.
Monkey business.
Go
talking about.
West.
You go west for sure. See, go west. Whatever you do.
You know what? Have you guys seen? I'm sure you have A Night at the Opera. I've never seen that one. Is that a good one or not so much?
You listen to this show?
Yeah.
And go see The Big Store.
Don't see the big store. How about the story of mankind? The three of them are in that.
Yes, and not together.
But there are three of them are in it, not
They
together.
had all three Marx Brothers, but in separate scenes.
Yeah. Crazy. Bad idea. H.C. Marx writes, hearing this story by Evan Neer made me laugh so hard I almost crashed my car. I don't know which story that was. Hope he makes at least 2 more appearances. So a lot of people loved the things people send us. This guy, Ken S., sent a picture of Alan Ladd's wallpaper, and it was chicken patterned. You seen these? Are you on the Twitter account, Paul? Because a lot of people are.
Because according, and I believe it,
Yes.
according to Ronnie Shell, Alan Ladd, great leading man.
Yes, short leading man.
Yeah, short leading man, very handsome. And what he was into was he'd gather women around him and he'd stand naked in the middle holding a chicken, and the women would start twirling around singing, "You simply got to fuck that chicken."
You sound a little like Francis Bavier. when you do that.
It's romantic.
It is romantic.
It's like a mixture of Francis Bavier and Margaret Dumas.
Yes, I give you credit because we've had these long-standing stories on the show, like the chicken, like the oranges and Caesar.
Yes.
All this stuff. But some people have said that your Jim Neighbor story from the set
Yes.
of Best Little Whorehouse may be giving those old stories a run for their money, and that's quite a compliment.
Yes.
That we should add a new classic story.
And if you missed that, what it was.
Now, you don't have to go through that. That'll use up the whole show. A couple of people also liked your George Burns story that you shocked and upset Phil Rosenthal with. Ken Shack.
You're going to fuck Dolly Parton and then fuck me up the ass?
It is beautiful. Oh, who says this show is not a tribute to old show business? It is beautiful. Ken S. says he sent a picture of Doc Severinsen, who is 90. Look at this. This is Doc Severinsen.
Wow.
Severinsen's still with us.
Yes. And playing at 90, he is playing the trumpet here at Santa Anita Racetrack. How about that?
Well, he would be fun to get.
Ken S. sent that.
Let's wait a while and invite him on the show.
Dane Gerard, or Dane Giro, says, God bless all of you and your George Burns stories. Yes, all of them.
Yeah.
So Phil told a beautiful, sweet George Burns story, and Gilbert told one that was not so
Less sweet.
beautiful and sweet. Eric Ryan says, the Phil Rosenthal is so smart and enthusiastic about what's good about Hollywood, and his Math House story is a classic. What an outsized and talented character. So, yeah, so people like the Mark Evanier episode, which is gratifying to us. Every now and then we just do an episode with somebody who's just got, someone younger, someone under 70, as Phil is. Phil's my age. And Mark, who's not an old man, to come on and just tell stories and anecdotes, It's a fun little kind of something different that we do. And Greg, Phil told that wonderful Jerry Lewis story
Oh, yes.
about when they wrote the movie for Alan Arkin and they wound up with a meeting with Jerry, and Jerry said, I see this for Jerry 3. What else do we have here? Holy smokes, Gilbert, did you know that James Mason did commercials for Thunderbird Wine?
No.
Thunderbird Wine, and he sent a YouTube link, which I will send to you. This is just strange. You know the Photoshop stuff
Oh, yeah.
that people send, and somebody photoshopped your head on Ken Norton's body from the movie Mandingo.
I saw that. I saw that.
Oh, let's see. I can cut out all the vamping. Cynthia Dagnall. These names are hard to pronounce. Danielle Myron. It's hyphenated. Danielle Myron. Please pitch the movie night series you introduced in this podcast, Phil, so that we can see what a magical life you lead. He invited us.
Oh.
He invited us to his pizza night.
Yes.
Phil Rosenthal, where he had
yes.
Peter O'Toole come. And all of these wonderful people come to the house. Paul, you were listening to that episode, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
I think Paul nodded off about 4 minutes ago.
How can you tell?
I did know. I got a treat for you here.
Go ahead.
I just called up the James Mason Thunderbird Wine,
Uh-huh.
and the title of the commercial is Thunderbird Wine Has an Unusual Flavor.
How about that?
Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gilbert, you could do those. You could call Thunderbird Wine and James Mason's gone. You could take the gig with your James Mason impression. This is very interesting. This was sent to us by Rick Dennis, who writes a lot to us.
Dennis.
Oh, Dennis. In case you guys are wondering about his health, Gene Hackman is fine and riding an e-bike. There's Gene Hackman
Oh.
renting a bicycle at 88.
Jeez.
How about that? Or buying a bicycle. How about that on a bicycling website? Gene Hackman looking good. We'd heard the worst about Gene Hackman.
But he does think he's Martha Washington.
Really?
So that's the only thing wrong.
I just saw I would turn in the dial the other day, and what's the one with Will Smith, Enemy of the State?
Enemy of the State, yeah.
Great movie. Great movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he made many bad movies, Gene Hackman. A couple toward the end. Maybe Welcome to Mooseport.
Oh, yeah.
But not to. Here's time for a little math out love. This is from Mikey Anastasio, and he sent a picture of Walter playing the piano in the nude.
Oh, jeez.
Have you seen this picture before?
Oh.
I think that's from Pete and Tilly, the movie he made with Carol Burnett. I'm jumping around here trying to find some good ones. Some of these I don't even understand. We love Phil Rosenthal. The guy backed up a Brinks truck and unloaded half a ton of priceless gems and Hollywood gold, says Joe Coca-Katana. And he can get dinner with his parents. And he invited you to a film screening at his home. How about that? We've got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, somebody else wrote that he was one of the few guests whose parents were still living. Ray Gustini writes, TCM is doing a late-night Capra marathon. I know that you guys love Capra. A Hole in the Head, I have to say, is pretty bad. That's the one with Edward G. Robinson.
Oh, and Frank Sinatra.
And Sinatra, yeah.
I thought Robinson was funny in that.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty bad. Maybe Robinson's good, but the movie's pretty bad.
Oh.
Yeah. The song High Hopes came from that movie.
Oh, wow.
Which John F. Kennedy, I believe, uses his campaign song. Did you know that, Ray Bone?
I did not know that. I did not know that.
This guy, I love this Twitter name. His name is 2/3 of my face is a cat because his avatar is his cat covering his face. People put a lot of thought into these. If I had known as a kid in the 80s that George Burns had an open door policy, I would have bugged my parents for a one-way ticket to Hollywood until they were glad to get rid of me. Phil's story about George Burns just going into...
Yeah, you could just walk into his office.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ravi K. Bhatia, this is about the swimmer, Gil.
Ah.
And did you know this? He said there was an SNL bit called The Man Who Loves Swimming. And it was a Burt Reynolds-John Cheever combo mashup. Funny to no more than 37 people on Earth. You being one of them.
Wow.
I assume. Did you know about that?
No.
Stephen Manhattan writes, I'm watching my comfort movie. We did an episode about comfort movies way back.
Yes.
We talked about Hello Down There. The
it's
submarine
Richard
movie.
Richard
Richard
Dreyfuss.
Dreyfuss and Ken Berry.
And he sings the love song to the goldfish.
Little Goldfish. He says, my comfort movie is Who is Killing the Great Chefs of Europe?
Oh, Jacqueline Bisset, George Segal,
And
Robin Morley.
Very
Yeah.
good. What more do you need? And look at Gilbert ripping out the cast. Just like that. Chris Kilgore wants you to know that Gilbert's riffing lewd acts for diseases on the Norm Macdonald podcast is a top 10 comedy moment of the internet age.
Oh,
I assume that was an offshoot of the Catherine Zeta-Jones bit.
yes.
Eric Connor, who recently provided a Producer of the Month episode, Gilbert or Dara, someone retweeted me. Does this mean they know I exist in the universe? If so, even after a wife and 2 kids, it is finally a life worth living. By the way, my 6-year-old recently did a Gilbert impersonation unprompted. The word proud doesn't cover it.
You could take that a couple of ways.
How about that? Here's somebody you can look up, Paul. Stanley Myron Handelman. Do you remember him, Gilbert?
Oh, absolutely.
Michael Gelman wants to know, says, I actually ran into Stanley Myron Handelman. He stepped into an elevator in the apartment building that I lived in Riverdale in the Bronx. We smiled at each other. No words were exchanged. He was really an original. Did you know him personally? A funny comic who was on a lot in the 60s.
I think I saw him a handful of times on stage where he'd stop into Catch or the Improv. Very funny.
Yeah.
He was a Brooklyn guy.
Yeah, he passed away.
2007.
His daughter is a comic named Stephanie Wilder, and she's funny too. Yeah. Anything else on Stanley Myron Handelman? I'm just trying to work you into the show, Paul.
Merv Griffin.
Because I see your eyelids getting heavy.
I remember
It's the-
he used to wear that newsboy.
Yes. He was sort of a kind of a Schmendrick character. Yeah. Almost like a poor man's Woody Allen.
Yeah.
A little bit.
He was like tall, skinny, hunched over, and had that way of talking.
Yeah.
Here's one. Are you ready for one quip from him?
Yeah.
I just got up from a sick bed. I don't know what's wrong with it. It just lies there.
Do you remember a comic named Billy Braver? Did you ever work with him? I worked with him in L.A.
Yeah.
He was another one of those guys.
Oh, yes.
Short in stature, kind of Schmendricky.
I remember Stanley Myron Handelman had a joke. He goes, one time I was in a restaurant and Fred Astaire was sitting at a table a few feet from me, and they brought his bill, and he didn't have his wallet, and he said, "Could you lend me some money? I'll pay you back." And I gave him some money, and he said, "I'll pay you back." And then years went by, and I saw Fred Astaire, and I said, Fred, you never paid me back the money I lent you. And he gave me a whole song and dance.
Oh, God. As corny as that was, it was worth the wait. That's funny. He was a funny guy. Okay, I will urge our fans to find and look up Stanley Myron Handelman.
Yeah, very funny.
Handelman, who has left us, but was a funny guy. Marshall Armentor. I'm ashamed to say this, and others have told you, but Showtime had those aerobic interstitial segments.
Yes.
That you were talking about, we were talking about with Phil. I was too young to know what they were.
Yeah, and after I looked them up, and yeah, it was basically like porn.
Yeah, like aerobic porn.
Yeah.
Leotard porn.
Yeah, these girls would be in like their little spandex outfits, all doing like their deep knee bends and whatnot.
We thought it was HBO. I guess it was early Showtime.
There's plenty of them on YouTube for anybody who wants to pursue this
Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah.
Three Oranges writes, Frank, I almost wrecked my car this morning when I heard Gilbert follow up Phil's sweet, heartwarming George Burns story with his other George Burns story. Let's see. This is the person who photoshopped your head on the Mandingo.
Oh, yes.
A picture of you from SNL with a Jufro from I don't know what year that is. Oh, it's the Devil. The Devil is his Twitter handle. Tweet of Serpent. I had to do a bit of digging, but I found Gilbert auditioning for Mandingo. Let's see. What else? James Stieber. I always love Mathau in A New Leaf with Elaine May and, of course, the late Doris Roberts. So there's another connection to Phil. Let's see. Slappy J. Slappy J says, have you guys ever thought of getting Eddie Deason on the show?
Oh,
Was
boy,
this week soon enough for you? Yes, we are here to make your dreams come true. Our friend John Fodiatis at Empty City Square says, I think I once shared a cubicle sitting between Jerry 1 and Jerry 3.
Hey, can we plug John's new Producer of the Month
Let's
theme?
do that.
It's really great.
Isn't it good?
That's really solid.
We're going to have to open the next Producer of the Month episode with it.
Yeah.
Yes, John Fodiatis, a man of many talents. And he's an architect. He's a fan of this show, but he also composes theme songs. It's his listener mail theme song that you hear at the end of this one.
At the end of this one, yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Frankie.
And if you go to Patreon, you can hear that theme whenever you want.
Yes, you can. Steve in Manhattan. I'll just take us through a couple of last ones because I think Rayburn ordered out. Steve in Manhattan says, I'm still catching up, but listening to Tony Orlando curse at Gilbert when he couldn't find the right key. Maybe the best thing ever.
That doesn't sound possible.
Doesn't sound possible.
No, I think that was a little musical instruction. That was going on there.
And we'll end with this. Trinity, these names, boy, oh boy. Trinity Vidori. How would you pronounce Vidaurri? Vidori?
It's pronounced Worcester.
Vidori. I'm thankful we live in an era where a Robert Mitchum series and a Peter O'Toole series would probably get made on all the platforms we have now.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's interesting, because now with Hulu and Netflix and Amazon and all of these things, you might see Phil was trying to, set those shows up, and especially in the O'Toole case. I mean, the Mitchum thing got on the air, but was not very good. Okay, I lied. I'm going to find one last one. That's a picture of Gilbert. Rick Dennis, again. 3 more names for you guys for your never-ending list, because we love it when people pitch us the names of people to book. Dwayne Hickman.
Oh.
Dobie Gillis.
Yeah.
Still around.
Gillis, wow.
John Davidson. We have asked John Davidson to do the show on numerous occasions. Dara knows him.
He still works, and he's busy, but...
Yeah, let me not be the person to point out that he did Mark Malkoff's podcast.
Oh, geez.
But turned us down. Dara, what is that about? John Davidson.
Could we repeat the question, please?
John Davidson, Dara. We're getting requests. He will not do the show. He said, let me just be a fan.
He's intimidated, I'm told.
He's intimidated. We're told he's intimidated.
Huh.
By the length of
By
Gilbert's
Paul,
penis.
I think.
Yeah.
By Gilbert's manhood.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What was the link there exactly?
He'd like to help Gilbert the way the nurse helped Bill Macy. And
Hashtag me too.
Me too. The last person being pitched by Rick Dennis is Dennis Franz from NYPD Blue.
Wow.
How about that? What do we think of Dennis Franz?
I mean, we like him, but I think he's one of those that's just somewhere along the way said, I got enough money.
Exactly.
I'm just going to play golf and take it easy.
Exactly.
He'll do it, but he has to be able to show his ass at least once.
Is that
Yes.
true? Is that a fact? I didn't realize that. Somebody pitched me today. Was it you, Frank, that pitched Burt Young?
Yes.
Did you have Burt Young in here?
No, an old girlfriend's father had a birthday and was a picture with him and Burt Young, and I said, well, if they know him, I can reach out.
What do you think of Burt Young for the
Yeah,
show?
oh, that would be good.
He did a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
There's
Rocky,
decent people trying to sleep.
Pope of Greenwich Village.
He doesn't look like a chatty Cathy to me. He doesn't
No,
look like the kind
no.
of guy that's going to come in here and have a party. but we'll try. We'll try. And we do appreciate all guest requests, don't we, Raybone?
We do. Shall I play a few choruses on my bone?
Go for it. we play the Jews harp.
This
is where we
this
cut
is only
to
going
a
to get
sine
worse. This
wave.
rainbow
Yeah.
thing.
We love to hear from you. We love the tweets. We love the mail. We hope you guys love hearing your name on the show. Send in requests. Send in ideas. We're only joking when we say that we don't want your guest requests. I want to hear them, even though Gilbert has contempt. This is Gilbert's standard response when I call him and I say, "Hey, how about this person? That might be good." It's how he feigns enthusiasm.
The way you
He humors me.
the way you two work together,
Yeah,
it's like
beautiful.
it's like one person.
I know.
You know? Yeah.
It's magic. It's seamless. I get a list of names. I'm excited. I say to my wife, he's going to get so excited by these names. I call him up. Gilbert, Richard Donner.
Yeah.
Richard Donner's going to do the show. Oh,
Yeah.
that might be good.
Adolf Eichmann. Oh, that might be
He
good.
passed. He passed. I think I got Rudolph Hess. Shall we?
Okay.
Can you tell we're sleepy and punchy tonight?
Yes. This has been Gilbert and Frank's Amazing Colossal Obsessions, and old black blind Paul Raybone will play us out with one of his harmonica.
You know, I'm tempted to go out on a Paul Raybone harmonica. We have to play.
I'll find something.
No, we have to
Yeah.
play John's. We have to play John's listener mail theme. But thank you,
Put
Paul.
harmonica on top of
Thank you, Paul Raybone. Thank you, Frank Verderosa. Thank you, Dara. I'm not thanking you. See you next time.
That sounds good.
Listen, man.